We've been waiting all week for Sunday night, and it is almost here, ladies and gentlemen. Packers on the road at AT&T Stadium to take on the Dallas Cowboys, a place where they are actually undefeated. 6-0 when on the road in Arlington, Texas. Cannot wait for that game, and coming up on today's show, I'm going to have injury news, keys to victory, and my score predictions, so don't go anywhere. Before that, though, I need you guys to do me a favor and like the video. Hell, do yourselves a favor and like the video. When we did our Browns preview, that thing only got 138 likes, and in my opinion, that's part of the reason we lost that football game. That and the offensive line was absolutely atrocious. Regardless, I need the good vibes to be out with this team. I need double the amount of likes we got on that Browns preview. We can't do that again, so I need 300 on today's show. We are going to start with the big injury news that we got earlier this week on Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, who suffered a high ankle sprain in last Sunday's game against the Chicago Bears. Sorry, I got the Browns still on the mind. Look, he's not going to be playing. He's out. This is a big break for Green Bay. And I'm not saying that like, yay, hooray, a player got injured. No. I'm never going to root for a player's injury. I think that kind of makes you a bad person if you root for another player to be injured. But I can look at a player's injury and say, hey, that's going to benefit this team a lot. Because CeeDee Lamb is basically all this offense has. Sure, they got a lot of other talented weapons, maybe one or two other talented weapons. I still think Dak is a pretty serviceable quarterback. But without CeeDee Lamb, their entire offensive identity just goes right out the window. Which brings us to our first key to victory, okay? Key to victory number one, you have to double George Pickens. With CeeDee Lamb out, this needs to be where 100% of your focus is this ball game. Because, in my opinion, George Pickens is their only offensive weapon that scares me in the slightest. He's their only offensive weapon that sends a little bit of a chill down my spine. Because although he's had a very turbulent season so far, some up, some down. We all know the player that he can be. We all know the catches that he can make. And we all know how much he can impact a football game if he's on. And let's face it, looking at the other Cowboys weapons, like these guys look like guys you see on a preseason roster. Javonte Williams at running back, obviously George Pickens. And again, this is with no CeeDee Lamb. Jalen Tolbert, Kevontae Turpin, and Jake Ferguson. Do any of those faces, do any of those names really, really make you scared that they're going to go out there and they're going to put up 110 points on you? Because they don't to me. Now, George Pickens does a little bit. That's why you have to focus all your efforts on not letting him hurt you. Focus all your efforts on making him a guy that Dak Prescott can't go to because he's just not open. And so far, what we've seen from this defense, especially from the secondary, I think they've got the ability to do just that. What's your score prediction for Green Bay, Dallas? Okay, I'm going to have mine coming at the end of today's show, but I want you guys to take some time, get down in the comment section right now, and comment yours, so that way I know you're not cheating on mine. Number two, Jordan Love has got to be on. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If Jordan Love is on in this game, look, guys, this is a team you can beat by 30 or more points. You want to know how I know that? Well, there have been some quarterbacks that have had some unbelievable games. And sure, Russell Wilson's on this graphic right now, and they lost to Dallas. Well, that's because the Giants' defense sucks. But still, look at these quarterback numbers that they've put up against Dallas the last 2 weeks. That's what we're talking about right now, the quarterback position. Russell Wilson, 73% completion percentage, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 123. Caleb Williams, 67.8% completion percentage, almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 142. Those two average out to about 70% completion percentage. They combine yards-wise to 748 yards and 7 touchdowns. This defense can be had. In fact, it has been had all season long. The Cowboys' defense is horrific. It might be the worst defense in the league. And I've still got confidence in Love. I saw some crazy things on my Twitter timeline over the past 6 days. A lot of people talking really badly about Jordan Love, who, yes, he threw a bad interception. It was a horrible interception. He'll tell you that. In fact, he did tell you that. But I've still got so much confidence in him because outside of that, he played a pretty damn good game. And he's had a pretty good season as well. Those first 2 games, he was wonderful. And it's also not his fault, looking back to Sunday's game, that he had 0.3 seconds to throw anytime he was dropping back in the pocket. It was collapsing on him instantaneously. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder to throw the football when that's happening. And speaking of that offensive line, that's where we're going to next, okay? The offensive line has to step up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. And I get it. You might be saying, Joey, Dallas's defensive line is not that good. And you are right. It's not that impressive. But still, guys, what we saw on Sunday, I feel like me, Gage, and your grandma could have success against this offensive line. Did you know the Packers against the Browns averaged 3.8 yards a play, the lowest in the game over the last 5 seasons? If you want a more offensive line specific stat here, I'll give you one right now. Jordan Love was pressured on 13 of his 31 dropbacks. 43% of them. One more before he hit the road, right? One more just for good measure. How about it? The Packers had a 15.5 PFF pass blocking grade on Sunday. The lowest for any team since 2021. Do you know how many games are played in the National Football League in a season? What, 32 times 17, Gage? Is that what we're doing? Over 200, times that by 4, because it's since 2021. That's probably around 1,000 games played. You have the worst pass blocking grade. That game against the Browns. That's not good enough. It's not. I don't care who's on the other side of the defensive line. If they do that again, you're going to lose the ballgame. Sure, part of that grade is because Cleveland has a good defensive line, but also part of that is because you just looked horrible on your front 5. Not good enough. How are we feeling confidence-wise for the offensive line moving forward? Scale your confidence level 1 to 100 in the comment section down below. 100, you're saying, hey, I still got them. They're going to dominate. Best offensive line in the league. 1, you're saying, oh, probably worst offensive line in the history of football. Let me know down below. Something you can be confident in is that we're going to give you a great deal right here on the channel. If you go to chatsports.com/gbpolo, you could get this collared shirt for just $33. It was $55. It's dropped down to $22. Look, guys, it's an awesome deal, and that deal's not going to last for very long. If you go to chatsports.com/gbpolo, you can take advantage of it. You put in your shipping information, put in your card information, bada bing, bada boom, wherever you are, it's to you in 3 to 5 days. Get your closet a little bit of an upgrade. Get your fan status a little bit of an upgrade. And head to chatsports.com/gbpolo. Number 4, you got to force turnovers, okay? And this one, in my opinion, is on the defensive line and the secondary as well. I've been impressed with Dak this season. Their record does not show how good Dak Prescott has been. And sure, he threw a couple of picks against Chicago, but one of those went right off of George Pickens' hands. Another one was trying to make a play on 4th down. Dak Prescott's been decent this season. Pretty dang good. But the thing about Dak is, and we've known this pretty much since he came into the league, he will turn the football over. Right? They'll give you the rock. I think we can all remember just a couple years ago where he led the National Football League in turnovers. And this is, in my opinion, where I put it on Micah Parsons to have that revenge game. Okay? I need Micah in Dak's grill for 60 minutes straight. And let's be real here. Micah needs Micah in Dak's grill for 60 minutes straight. I've got a feeling this is going to be a big game from him. And because of that, you continue to add the pressure. You continue to turn up the heat for a quarterback, they're going to cough the football up a couple times. Whether it's on a strip sack, whether it's on an interception that they're just trying to get the ball out before they take a sack, something's going to give. It's up to Micah Parsons to make sure that it does. And number 5, you got to finish the ball game. Okay? You have to finish the ball game. This one's probably the most important on all 5 of these. Okay? Because this is what you failed to do against Cleveland. You did the opposite of it. Right? You had the chance, every chance, to win that football. You just didn't finish it. what you have to do on the road as well. Okay? I get it. You're 6-0 at AT&T Stadium. But honestly, if you look at the last 5 seasons, you're basically the only team that's beaten them there. They've had a really good home record, especially over the last 3 years. You are better than they are. Okay? At the end of the day, same thing against Cleveland. You had a better roster than them, but you didn't finish it. You made stupid mistakes, special teams mishaps, penalties, turnovers. Those things are going to kill you. If you do those again to Dallas and you don't finish this ball game, whether you're up in the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, after the 2-minute warning, I don't care. Just when you're up, make sure you finish it. My score prediction, 34-17. I think the worst thing to happen for Dallas was the Packers getting beat the way they did on Sunday. Because of that, I think it's a revenge game for them. It's a revenge game for Micah, and Dallas is having to play without their best player in CeeDee Lamb. I think that all culminates into a big Packers victory. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you got me on Twitter and on Instagram at Joey Petersen 8, both those platforms. And like it says down below, if you want the Packers to win, hit that subscribe button, or like we like to say, sub for Packers dubs.